When the body comes down, it shuts down the menstrual cycle because the waste is clogging up the whole mechanism. The white flour, the McDonald's, the Colonel Parkers. The next change of life, 35. Everything begins to cave in then. Everything. Because the parents haven't given you anything to build anything on. So now everything begins to happen. The fibroid tumors, the cysts, the cancer of the breast at 35, a very crucial hurdle for the body. I said hurdle. Before you had youth to help you, but now it is a hurdle. Rushing through the changes of the body, the climates of the body, the climatic climates of the body. The next one now is premature. It's almost jamming high summer. 35 is the high summer of the body. The high summer, or between 35 and 38. Maybe between 34, 33, and 38. But the high summer of the body is then. The high summer of the body should not start. Should be around 55 or 60. But it's down to 35. So then, the next season, the change of life, which is jamming the high summer, comes around 45, when the cessation of the menstrual cycle. This is early autumn. Then death. The next season, women in America are living till approximately 72. The insurance companies say they don't even have a late autumn. They're in winter now. But ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. If you fortify that body with life, put life in the body, put the strength of the earth back into the body, you can make it past the last hurdle of the body. And I fought like mad to bring my mother past 87. Who do you ever know makes it past 87? You'll make it to 86. You might touch 87, but you're not going to make it past 87. Very few people do. Check the news out of all the famous people that died. 81, 83, 84, 85, 86, but there's no 87. Because that's the last change of the body. If you can make it past 87, you can float right over into 120. But very few people make it past there. Very few. That's the problem. So those are the climatic changes of the body. Now for those of you who are new. Now I'm ready to take my glasses off, and the young lady got her feelings hurt and left. Or maybe she went to get her glasses. I'll take them off now. I'll try to keep my eyes open. Didn't mean to hurt her feelings. So, let's back up again and talk about the principles of the Family Health Reformation. These principles you should carry throughout your life. How many of you here lost the last lecture? How many? Nobody? Oh, these are all new people? What? How many of you here the last lecture? You got a lot of new. How many are new here now? Oh, okay. I might sound like a broken record, but I'll have to go back over these principles of the Family Health Reformation. There's only one disease in the whole wide world. Simple. I'm not trying to be a sensationalist, but this is true. There's always only been one disease. There are 1,400 names for one disease. The disease center in Atlanta says that there are 1,400 diseases that plague mankind. I beg to differ. There's only one disease in the whole world. This disease is the accumulation of garbage in your body. We rename the accumulation of waste when it affects an organ adversely. When it clogs up the veins and arteries, they give you a triple bypass, but it's waste in the veins and arteries from all the fat, from the beef, from the hogs, from whatever. As I told the people in the last lecture, the average person in America eats something like 60 pigs in his lifetime. He eats up a whole farm. The average person in America eats something like 45 cows in his lifetime. Oh, you think I'm joking? I'm not joking. The average American eats something like 80 pigs in his lifetime. He eats the farm in his lifetime. And the average black in America eats something like 300 chickens. Oh, you like them chickens, don't you? Well, you've eaten 300 in your lifetime. And that's why you're all blown out. That's why you look nothing like the yearbook picture when you graduated from college. None of you do. You know what you look like, don't you? You remember? You remember them pretty legs your husband looked at? Oh, honey, you sure got some pretty legs. The tiny waistline. You remember? Oh, you don't remember, do you? You don't remember, do you? Everybody's quiet.
It's true.
You don't remember. Oh, you're supposed to get fatter and fatter and collect the garbage the older you get. Is that it? You're supposed to get your big cheeks the older you get. Is that true? Oh, your thighs are supposed to be spread out as big as your waist. You're supposed to have 2 stomachs and 4 chins. You're supposed to do that, right? Well, why have you let yourself go? Because you're traveling down the avenue of the taste buds instead of traveling down the road of prevention. The road of prevention. Doctors treat you when? After you get sick, don't they? They don't treat you before you get sick. I treat you before you get sick so that you don't get sick. I teach you prevention. Do you wait till your car runs out of gas before you put gas in it? Oh, yes you do, huh? Oh, you wait till it runs out of gas when you're running the car on the fumes. And that's the same way you're doing your body. Running it on the fumes. But my dear ladies and gentlemen, you are waiting for an impending conflict, a disaster beyond your wildest dreams. A nightmare waits for you. And blacks have the poorest health all over the world than any other ethnic group. You lead in every disease known to man. From heart problems, the dialysis machine was made for you. I'm not joking. You got more heart problems than anybody. You got more rheumatism than anybody, arthritis than anybody. Why? You want me to tell you why? Because you can make that food taste so good. Boy, you can make that food. Boy, I'm telling you. I had a meal here the other day. Man, y'all can make that food taste so good. Just rice. Ain't nobody can cook like no black people. I don't care where they are. They can be in Africa anywhere. We know how to season that garbage, don't we? And I can never understand why you got to doctor up that meat. Why don't you eat it like it is? But you just doctor it up and putting all kinds of seasoning in it because you don't like the way it tastes, the way it is. Dear friends, when you eat meat, all you're doing is eating worms. Simple. And you don't even think about it. As I told my last lecture before, I can put a table up here with a pork chop, with a piece of beef, turkey, and chicken, and pour some alcohol on each of I lecture and let it thaw out, and pour some alcohol, and you see them worms crawling out on the table. Try it at home sometimes. The animal kingdom is infested with worms. And if the animal kingdom is sicker than you are, you know you're infested with them too. And the problem is the worms got to go to the toilet. And their waste is deadly. And the body capsulizes their waste and sews a tiny cocoon around it. weaves a tiny cocoon around the waist from the worm kingdom in the body. All kinds of worms, flat worms, round worms, spiral worms, worms 70 feet long locked up in you. In the fish, they grow that long. And they grow as long as you are. And their waste is dead. And the body capsulizes it and sews a fine film around it within seconds. You call it a tumor. A tumor is a capsule of waste that the body sews to protect itself. The same as a tree burrows to protect itself from the disease that comes from without. The body's burrow is called a tumor. The tumor is your friend and ally and can keep you living year after year after year with a tumor. The doctor goes in and cuts the tumor out, dealing with the symptom, and the waste will come right back and make another tumor. You've got to get rid of the waste. And the tumor, you will see the skin. When you get rid of the tumor with nature's cleanser, you can see the skin from the tumor in the toilet stool if you look at the right time. The tumor in your brain will drain to the toilet stool if you open up the bottom. But the bottom is clogged up with chicken wings and rib tips and barbecue. And the white flour, the main culprit. Everything you cook with is white flour. Glue used to hang wallpaper. That's all white flour is. You lived on white bread for 6 months, you would die. One disease in the whole wide world, when the waste of the body burns through the skin, you call it rashes or eczema, some kind of name. I can't even pronounce the names. We have so many names now that we give the waste of the body. We have so many names we give the worm kingdom in the body. When it takes over the motor center of the brain, we call ourselves epileptics, and that we're having some type of seizures or something. It's just the worms. It's a worm disorder. Prostate problems in men is a worm disorder. That's why doctors can't ever treat it, because they're not treating the worms. It's a worm disorder. Prostate problems. The prostate is something like the breast in women. Once a woman gets a cancer of the breast, as soon as you cut on her, what happens? It spreads. You shouldn't cut on her, because when you cut on her, you're tampering with what? The immune system. You can't cut on nobody. The body don't even want needles put into it. When you puncture the body with a needle, you're bypassing the immune system. And the garbage goes straight to the heart without being filtered through the liver and the kidneys. Many people die from shots. The immunization shots also. But the live disease pumped into kids. Those kids can't take no shots pumped into them like that. You're bypassing the immune system when you do that. As soon as you cut on a person, the disease spreads. Because you're bypassing the immune system. The immune system is the tonsils. The forefront of the immune system is the tonsils, and the lower tonsils are what? That's right. Who said that? Yeah. Come in.